In today's video, we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 11, specifically the Nintendo Switch versions of these games. Which one of these fighting games should you buy? As you may or may not know, with the New Year's sale, Warner Brothers currently has both of these games on big discounts until the 14th of January. For Mortal Kombat 11 is under $10, and with Mortal Kombat 1, the premium edition is $65, so it's 40% off. So which of these do you buy? One is old and no longer updated, and the other is a few months old. If you're on next generation, then the answer is pretty simple. You pick Mortal Kombat 1. But things are a little bit more complicated if you're on the Nintendo Switch. We're gonna get into that. But before we begin, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers, so let's try to hit that mark by the end of the month. What we do here on this channel is break down simple and complicated combos for various fighting games. We do video game reviews and online match gameplay in addition to other things as well. Mortal Kombat 11 for the Switch has often been called a miracle port. It's one of those games like The Witcher 3 that people thought could never be ported to the Nintendo Switch, but it was, and after a few patches, it performed pretty decently. Even now, almost 5 years after the release and many patches later, it still does not really compare to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions, but for the Switch, it was often considered pretty decent, all things considered. Then we get into Mortal Kombat 1. So, if Mortal Kombat 11 was considered a miracle port, then what would that make a Switch port of MK1? I mean, it's a next generation game on an underpowered previous generation system. Surely it can't possibly work. Well, if that's what you thought, then you would be correct, but you would also be kind of wrong. On launch day, Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch was met with a disastrous reception. Every content creator was making videos about how bad it looks and how bad it runs. For obvious reasons, of course. I'm not saying that they were wrong to do so. In fact, the backlash might be why NetherRealm Studios and Ed Boon came out and promised to fix it. Well, it's been a few months now, and one of the comments I get a lot in my videos is whether you should buy MK11 or MK1 for the Nintendo Switch. 2 months ago, I would have said MK11, but MK1 has received numerous patches and many of the problems have been taken care of. Yes, even the biggest one, and we're gonna get into that later. So for starters, let's look at the pros for each game, okay? Mortal Kombat 11 on Switch most definitely has better graphics. Like, that's not even a debate. It looks so much better than MK1. The character models are way more detailed, the backgrounds look really good. All in all, it's just a way better looking game than Mortal Kombat 1. Another positive for MK11 is the current price point in this discount. At only $9, it's a damn good bargain. And the game isn't completely dead yet, as some people are still playing it online. Mortal Kombat 11 also has a smoother overall experience, and by that I simply mean like when we're talking about cycling through menus and things like that. It definitely feels a lot smoother in that regard. If you want my overall review of Mortal Kombat 11 for the Nintendo Switch, you can click the link up top. But for this video, let's move on to Mortal Kombat 1. And now, a lot of you who are looking into MK1 for the first time since it launched on the Switch, you're gonna come to this part of the video and think, what the hell kind of positives could this game possibly have? Isn't it the worst port ever? Nah, WWE 2K18 still holds that title belt, but I'm someone who has been playing Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch almost daily since the game launched, and yeah, in my opinion, it has quite a few pros, so let's jump into that right now. So we're gonna start with a big one, the loading times. When the game launched, loading times were a complete catastrophe. They were horribly long, and for a lot of people, the loading times made the game completely unplayable, understandably so. But if you're the type that was okay with the loading times in Mortal Kombat 11 for the Switch, then you're gonna be happy to hear that the loading times for Mortal Kombat 1 were reduced by so much that it's actually faster than Mortal Kombat 11 now. Don't believe me? I've got a whole video where I'm comparing loading times in various modes for both games. The link for that should be up top, but the too long didn't watch of it is basically on launch day for Mortal Kombat 1. Online matches had 40-second loading times, and 2 patches later, they turned into 60-second loading times, so they actually got worse a couple patches later. But with the latest patch, which is patch 1.9, the loading was reduced to 20 seconds. We did a side-by-side comparison, and Mortal Kombat 11 actually has about 37-second loading times for online matches. Let me put it like this: Mortal Kombat 1 had enough time to load the match and the intros before Mortal Kombat 11 even started playing the intros. Loading into the main menu is considerably faster in MK1. About the only area in loading times that MK11 actually beat MK1 on is loading rematches. So the first match loads way faster in MK1, but rematches take longer for some reason. But they're still considerably faster than they were in the previous patch. This one is going to be purely my opinion, but from a gameplay point, I think Mortal Kombat 1 is just so much more fun than Mortal Kombat 11. Like, it's not even close, to me anyway. Going back to MK11, it just feels stiffer in comparison, while MK1 is way more fluid. I mean, let's just compare my playtimes in both games, okay? And remember, Mortal Kombat 11 has been out on Switch since 2019, and I bought it on launch day. Mortal Kombat 1 has only been out a few months, and I've already got almost double the playtime. So personally, I think it's just a lot more fun. Online gameplay is smoother in Mortal Kombat 1 and the netcode is better. I do have to mention though that anytime you call a summoning cameo, meaning a cameo that keeps your character stationary, the frame rate does take a small hit, but it's not a game breaker for me. I rarely ever drop combos where I think it's a netcode issue as opposed to me just not doing the buttons correctly. While in Mortal Kombat 11, that was a regular thing. Pretty much every match had that problem for me. It's part of why I stopped playing MK11 if I'm being completely honest. Another pro for MK1 is that, well, it's a new game, and with that comes the fact that it's going to be receiving constant updates for the next 4 or 5 years. And unless you're one of the few people that gets good extremely fast, it's generally a good idea to get in on a fighting game early on in its life so that you don't get left too far behind. So if you're a noob just jumping into a game like, for example, Dragon Ball FighterZ or Mortal Kombat 11, which are fighting games on their last legs, then you're gonna have a bad time. You're pretty much just gonna be running into those sweaty people that do nothing but play these games all day. And considering that even with this sale, MK1 is still considerably more expensive than MK1, we gotta look at the negatives about MK1 currently as well. At the moment, the Switch version of MK1 is on patch 1.9, and in this patch, Mortal Kombat 1 across all platforms, so not just on the Switch, but it's going through a really annoying desynchronization problem that's affecting both online casual and ranked modes. So a lot of the time when you're about to start a match, the game's netcode will go crazy and kick you both out of the match, and this happens way too often. There was supposed to be a fix in early January, but we're quickly approaching the chameleon release date of the 16th, so who knows if this fix is going to be out before then. To help you make a more informed decision, I've got other videos on my channel where I go through each patch and we compare what was fixed, what was broken. I've got a video focusing on the problems, and I'm going to make another one on small bugs that are still present. But my overall takeaway right now is that Mortal Kombat 1 should not have been released on the same day as the other versions. I think if it had released with patch 1.9, it would have been met with a much warmer response. So I hope this video helps you to decide which game to buy. I am a bit biased toward MK1, but I tried to be as fair as I could. I hope to see you on the Switch version of MK1. We might run into each other, but if you pick Mortal Kombat 11, that is fine too. And with that said, I'm going to keep bringing you more combo videos, online matches, and video game news. I'm Switchplayed. Done.